Hello. I have purchased a 54-inch portable basketball system from Spalding. Well, actually, it was a gift for Ethan. And, putting this thing together was quite an ordeal. And I figured I would help the next guy. I always go to YouTube for help. So whenever I can, I try to help you guys out. I'm not saying I'm the best at this, I'm certainly not. But anyway, this is the package of the stuff. I'm using GoPro type action cam. In the beginning, and then my battery died. I had to switch over to another camera. But like I said, I did the best I could. Hopefully it'll help somebody who might get stuck. I know it was probably better if you just buy the thing built. And hopefully whoever built it did a good job. But this thing was it was quite a beast to put together. It was not a party. Anyway, in the manual they have the exact size of the screws and such in the beginning, and it's real important that you use that when you're picking out the right bolts. I'm not going to go into detail about the bolts and such. I'm just pretty much here just as a display, with the manual. If you don't have the manual, you got to download it or something. Oh, this is going to be the wheels. So it looks like, I'm at the part. This is pretty much the beginning where you put the wheels on the base. And again, the correct screws, it takes a little while to get those situated. So you got to match them up exactly. Make sure you're using the right one with the one that's in the manual. So there's the bracket for the wheel, and of course the correct screw. And these little caps, they got all this deal where you use the wood thing. I don't have a piece of wood, so I just stuck it on there and lightly hammered it so it was even, and it worked good. I'm sure the pro guys do it with a little piece of wood so that there's no damage or whatever, but if you're cautious with it, I had no problem putting that together. So put the cap on both sides. I'll let you know later on if they fall apart. It does, you gotta, it's gonna have a lot of weight on it in the end, so it's gotta be pretty secure. Just make sure you tap it down good. So I guess I'm gonna do both wheels for you. That's fine. I think I stopped, doing both or every little detail, especially once the GoPro runs out of battery. And I didn't think of it. I had a second battery, and I should have went and got it, and then I could have kept using this because this thing really makes it easy. Oh, by the way, you should use two guys. I only had myself, and there's a lot of parts in this that you're going to regret being by yourself. Well, alright, I wasn't exactly by myself. I had a little goblin helper that, was very helpful, as you can imagine. Okay, so here I am, pulling the bolts out. I don't know why I'm showing you. That won't slip through. So these are the bolts, and now I'm going to put the mount on the base. And I just tilted it up because you got to be able to see both sides when you're screwing that in. It's not as easy as it looks. Oh, listen, just put the top bolt on, the one towards the edge, because the second bolt is actually going to be attached to a bracket. So don't put two bolts in there, just one, you see? Just one bolt, and then do both of the wheels. There we go. wheels. Maybe I should go re-edit this and take out some of this extra stuff. I apologize. I'm sure you can just click fast forward and through it. Okay. There it is. I'm going to tighten it down a little bit. Now, you don't need to crank everything down when you first put it in. It's a good idea to just sort of let it sit for a little bit. And then tighten it down later in case you need to move something. Here's my helper. Okay, so what am I doing here? What am I doing? Oh, these are the base poles. Alright, so this is another little deal where they tell you to, measure, and it's 3.5 inches, and yada yada. Just make sure you identify the correct pieces. They're labeled very clearly, and match them up properly. You'll see there's a dimple and then like a little indentation. I'll show you in a minute. This is if I left the wrong part when I was editing it. Anyway, here you can see the dimple and the piece, and then I slid it in. They say, oh, you mark it 3.5. You could do that, measure 3.5 inches or whatever and mark it so you don't go. I pretty much just slid it in. I put on a piece of plastic and squished it down, firmly, and I didn't have any problem. Oh, and there is a smoke bomb. My helper decided that a smoke bomb was appropriate right there. So anyway, there's the pole, and then you take the pole. I'm going to show you this whole deal. You take the pole. Oh, now I'm pushing it. I'm not going to push it on the grass. Alright, yeah, there we go. Now I'm putting it into the base, and there's the bracket and the bolts. So again, having two people is much easier than doing it by yourself. But, it is what it is. I was by myself. So you gotta, if you're by yourself, you gotta have the base between your legs, and you're holding the pole with your left hand, and then you put the screw through the brace, and you gotta peek through there, and just sort of, there's holes in the bottom of the base, you'll see it. And, you just screw it in there as best you can. I mean, it's doable. I did it, and I'm not the most coordinated of folks. So, I mean, if I can do it, you can do it. It's just not a party doing it by yourself. Anyway, it is what it is. So here I am going to screw the base in, the bracket on the bottom. Again, refer to the manual for the correct screws. Don't be using the wrong screws. That would be a problem. If the screw's not going in right, double check it. They give you a couple extra of the little nuts, but I don't think the big screws, they give you extras of. Of course, you could go to Home Depot and pick up one that you might have stripped, but I would try to avoid stripping the screws. That's annoying. So there it is, and then I tilted it up. Okay, so that's where we're at now. Now these are the braces that are going to hold the pole to the base. Remember, I told you on the wheels to not screw in the back bolt. Well, first, this is the top part. It's one of them big long ones, and again, the correct washers and nuts that you put in there, refer to the manual, and attach that. I think I might have forgot to put a washer in and had to redo it, yada yada. You'll get a lot of that yourself, putting it together or taking it apart because you forgot to put a washer in there or something. But that's all good. So don't crank it too much here in the beginning, because you're going to have to move it to get it into place at the base. So what am I doing there? Oh, there's Okay. So then you gotta kind of force it in. Again, two people's nice. One person holding the base, the other person pushing. If not, you just gotta kind of maneuver as best you can and get the correct bolt in there. It's not easy. It's not a super great fit, but you know, you squeeze it in there, and then you get the bolt and you crank it down. Make sure it's not stripping, and do it on both sides. Try to do it evenly, and you know, you can see I brace the base a little bit there with my legs. Doing it by yourself, again, not the easiest thing. Okay, so this is little guy is for when the ball goes through the hoop. You know, it's kind of a pain if it keeps going the wrong way. So anyway, so you put that on, you check the bolts, and it's really self-explanatory. It goes on those braces, as you can see. So I need to go into detail here. Just make sure you put the correct bolts and nuts on there to put that in place. That again is a little deflector of the ball, so it comes towards you when it goes through the net. And crank it down. Make sure you tighten. Once you get all that on, just crank it down. Oop, I think I had to quit for the day. The mosquitoes were getting me starting the next day. So here I am. But this was the brace for the elevator device, the handle that pulls the thing up and down. And so there's a back brace, and then as you can see, the mount. So there's like basically a mounting bracket, and then the brace itself. And so when I put that brace in first. Again, two people is helpful. One person holds it in. I just put the nuts on there while I got the brace in place. This, by the way, is not real easy. You might want to break out your ladder here. Helper. I don't know what I'm doing now. Oh, now I'm breaking off the ladder. Okay, so then if you look, there's the bolts that go into the brace. Now, after you fasten that one brace down good, you put these bolts in. Now, this is sort of a tricky part right here. When these bolts go in, there's like a spacer that goes in. It's a metal little spacer. You'll see it in the manual, and you put it in there. And then these little plastic deals that go on the inside of the brace. Oh, you can see it on the left side here. I'll zoom in, I hope. And that's these bracers. The metal spacer sits between the two plastic deals, and they fit right in there. Now, you're gonna see the first one is easy enough to get in there. It's the second one that is a little bit difficult, and I have no idea how other people do this. I had to just sit there and work it, and squeeze it in there. And maybe there's some easier way if you like if you have two people, one person kind of spreads it apart so you can squeeze that thing in there. I don't know. I'm sure I'm not a rocket scientist here. And anyway, I finally figured out how to do it, and or just kept working it until I squeezed it in there. And you know, so if you're looking at it because you get stuck at this part, well, don't fret. It was a pain for me too. My arms got numb holding them up there. I think I got it in there. You imagine you put this thing together and you say, oh, I forgot a washer. So just make sure you got everything in place before you do that, because that was a very difficult thing there to put together. And yeah, I'm wondering if maybe before you screw it on, it might not be a better idea to put that part together, because then you don't have to do it you know, when it's up on the pole. You can do it when it's in fact, I wonder if the instructions tell you to do it that way. I don't have the instructions in front of me right now when I'm doing the audio, but yeah. So yeah, maybe it's much easier to put together before you mount it to the pole, because although that top screw might be hard to get to if the spacers are in place. Now listen, don't crank this thing down all the way. Also, just till the washers are snug. The reason is the spacers are supposed to be able to spin just a little bit for, I guess, moving the lever up and down in there. So don't crank that down, those bolts right there. Just a little bit loose, so that okay, so these are little plastic covers that are, go on the sides of it to make it look good and everything. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, or why do I gotta show you guys everything? It's so boring. The pen, the pen holder, and putting the plastic deals on there. Oh, everybody's bugging me. Well, alright, I cranked this down. This is no studio here, The phone's ringing. Okay, so here's the lever. This is the thing you're going to pull up and down when you're raising and lowering the backboard. So it's got the handle on it, and then you just slide it in between those two little deals, the two spacers, and then when you put it in, slide the pin in there, and put it at the 10 mark, 10 foot, the highest mark. So this is the braces that go on the backboard. These things, they have like a little bend in them. So when you set them on there, set it, look at the instructions. They're not real clear, but it's kind of straight. Like you put it on the inside of the metal brackets on the backboard, and it should be create an almost straight piece of metal. So and then bolt them in. I'm going to show you way more of this than is necessary. It's not difficult. By the way, you should have decent tools, a decent ratchet set and a decent crescent wrench set. Also, you're going to need maybe an adjustable wrench later, or at least a bigger crescent, like 3/4 for one part. Okay. Oh, listen. They tell you, if you have a horse, the wood horse thing, great, use that. But not everybody has that. I didn't. So I used a small step ladder instead for doing the top, for starting to work on the top of this. So again, 2 people's nice. And now these little elevator bar things. This is what the mechanism that raises the board will be hooked up to, and there's there's 4 bars. 2 of them are short and 2 of them are long. The longer ones will go closer to the base, and all I can say here is make sure you can look at my video here and see how it is. But make sure you follow the instructions. There's a bunch of spacers, and what I'm screwing it in here, and I got to put the second bar on it. Let's see if it takes me to figure that out. Anyway, just try to look at the diagram. Also, if you fast forward a little bit, I have some real good video of the finished, the way this part looks. so that you can, configure it properly. You got these like triangle brackets, and these bolts go through them. So between my video and the manual, hopefully it make it a little bit easier for you than it was for me. I had to sit there and look at that dumb manual, and then look at the brackets and look at the manual. So here, oh yeah, don't do it like I'm about to do it. Let's see here. Yep. See, now this is the longer pole I'm putting, but I'm doing it in the top of the pole. It doesn't go there. It actually goes in the next hole down. So the pole is going to need to be elevated. You'll see in a minute that I'm going to have to take the whole thing apart and then do it again with those two longer poles up higher. You'll see. So that one looks great. And look at me. I'm like, oh, look at me. I got all this done. But no, I don't. I do not. Ah, there we go. Taking it apart. Don't know why I'm showing you guys this. I should have just pretended like I knew what I was doing the whole time. And that was there. See? So you elevate this pole. There we go. And elevate the other pole. Yeah, dummy. You're going to have to take all that off. Pull the whole thing out. So this is why you got... good thing you can't hear me. I'm like... So, and then make sure you put all the spacers in and everything. Look at the diagram. This is, it's kind of tricky. There's a whole bunch of crap that goes in here. And you want to do it right. Getting dizzy watching me. Actually, I'm getting tired watching me doing it again. I'm so tired. And the sun, look at you see them gloves I'm wearing? You know why I'm wearing a glove? Because that black metal, or the paint on it, that thing was like a furnace, those bars. It was burning my hand. I had to put gloves on it and burn my hand. The sun was really blasting away. Alright, so I don't know. What am I doing? Destroying the planet, most likely. So nothing. I don't know. Okay, so oh yeah, that's when I lost my battery on the GoPro. So this is a finished product. The finished not product, but the top assembly. And I'm just basically at this point, and the reason is my battery on the GoPro died, so I couldn't show you, me doing it. But the best I can do is show you after I finish the assembly, so you can kind of look at it as a reference between the manual, and then I'm cranking this down. Don't go crazy. Oh, and by the way, it is a bigger, what, 3/4, I think. Okay, so then we got to lower it, because now it's time to put the backboard on. You can see I've got the springs in place, and again, look at the manual, you can see where I'm at. I'm trying to show you step by step. This is a big camera, and it's not attached to me, so so then I attach the backboard, or put the backboard up against the brackets to get it ready for mounting. And well, basically I can just show you what I've done. I don't remember what I did there. Oh, that's right, the mechanism with the springs, and just make sure you follow the manual. This is the hoop bracket. Okay, so that's right, the mechanism that I was showing you before actually attaches to the lifter mechanism. This is the hoop bracket. So, gosh, I apologize. Yeah, I should have put another battery. I was just getting so tired and hot. hopefully the video will help you enough. I know mounting that backboard is not the easiest thing. Here I'm showing you the way it looks again. Oh, and then I did already put the hoop bracket on there, and you just don't forget to put that little screw in there in the middle too. Again, refer to the manual, and there's the bracket with the spring and the screw. Would have been much better, obviously, if I could have had the GoPro or a helper. I could have videotaped while I was doing it. Oh, and then you gotta put these. That was not easy, by the way. Putting the plastic backboard borders on there. Ugh, my arms were numb. It was hot. Okay, so now the last thing I believe is going to be that plastic cover for this spring, and yeah, and then it's time to play some basketball. I believe. I certainly hope so. 'Cause I'm